The top 10 turns before letter S at Battle at the Berrics are the following. Hello, and thank you for joining another episode of Dumb Data, where we break down the numbers so you don't have to. In this breakdown, we're taking a look at which skaters lasted the longest in a Battle at the Berrics round before receiving their first letter. Who landed the most tricks in a match before getting S? Let's take a look at the top 10 turns before S and dive into the data. Since there's a three-way tie for 10th place, we're going to start at number 9, which is Donovan Strain getting letter S on turn 69 in the unsanctioned Battle at the Berrics 10 match against Sean Malto. This action-packed match between Strain and Malto lasted 88 turns total, and it wasn't until the 69th turn that Malto finally got a letter on Strain with a nollie frontside 360 kickflip. Donovan Strain and Sean Malto debuted in the first ever Battle at the Berrics with a heated first-round match. In that inaugural battle, Strain got letter T on a frontside shove-it before giving Malto 4 letters in a row, ending on a trick that's only been successfully attempted 4 times ever in a match since, the double hard flip. Strain wasted no time in going for Malto's throat in this unsanctioned battle, which actually wasn't really unsanctioned since one of the winners would go on to compete in Battle at the Berrics 10. This battle would continue to swing from Strain and Malto getting turnovers and a highly unpredictable trick selection. It wasn't until Strain missed a frontside double flip that Malto was finally able to pierce Donovan's armor by redoing a nollie frontside 360 kickflip to deal the first letter of the match. The letter seal was broken, and Malto would twist the knife with which he stabbed Strain in the form of a switch big flip to deliver letter K. Not showing any mercy, Malto continued the onslaught of letters by forcing Strain to attempt a switch big heel flip, which unfortunately for Donovan ended in failure and a third consecutive letter. At this point in the match, Malto was toying with his opponent like a cat would with a mouse, and added insult to Strain's hemorrhaging damage in the match by taunting him with Donovan's own bread and butter, a late shove-it variation. It was as if the skate gods could see Strain in his vulnerable position, unjustly tortured for tricks that the ref, like so many other refs before, apparently couldn't see from their vantage point that Malto's nollie flip late shove, while impressive in its own right, should have required a redo, and Donovan was about to be pulverized into a goopy pile of flat ground fertilizer. Whether from divine skateboarding intervention or Malto's own realization of his pitiless ways, a turnover occurred on his ambitious attempt at a trick that's never been landed in Battle at the Berrics, a switch backside 360 kickflip. With the turns now tabled, Donovan's imminent loss is suddenly a gamble, and it is Strain's turn to wreak havoc on a now bewildered and letterless Sean Malto. Number 8, lasting 71 turns before getting letter S, is Felipe Gustavo in Battle at the Berrics 10 round 2 against Luan Oliveira. Felipe survived all the way to turn 71 before missing a big flip set by Luan on the 7th and final turnover. That letter S was the start of a slippery slope for Felipe, after which he uncharacteristically missed a fakie tray flip, half cab heel, switch 3 shove, and finally Luan's dreaded switch tray revert. Number 7. Getting his first letter on turn 73 is Trent McClung in Battle at the Berrics 7 round 1 against Cody Cepeda. The youngest of 3 ripping McClung brothers, Trent chipped away at the newcomer Cepeda, getting Cody to letter T before missing a switch varial heel flip on offense and losing control of the match, which we've come to find out is basically a death sentence. McClung showed promise on defense, handling a nollie backside 360 big spin, but Cepeda can land all the double flip variations and punished Trent accordingly. Cody would go on to win this match with a nollie frontside double flip and ultimately the Battle at the Berrics 7 championship. Number 6. Holding on through 76 turns before getting S is PJ Ladd in Battle at the Berrics 6 round 3 against Moose. This epic first-time matchup between PJ and Moose ended up becoming the 3rd longest game of skate to take place in Battle at the Berrics history. Somehow this battle has only 200,000 views on the Berrics channel. When you factor in that the winner of this battle goes to the finals, flat ground royalty PJ Ladd gracing us with a showcase of his skills and the possibility of an upset by the capable underdog Moose, it's insane that this battle has less views than a Battle at the Berrics 12 unsanctioned match between Sonny Siljic and Alex Midler. While the battle lasted 130 turns, PJ discovered early on that inward heels were Moose's Achilles, and secured a victory with those tricks as is evidenced by the 5 letters Moose received. The half-cab inward heel death blow would guarantee a spot to the finals for PJ, after which he goes on to win his 2nd consecutive Battle at the Berrics championship. Number 5. Returning to a match already on this list is Sean Malto getting letter S on turn 78 in the unsanctioned Battle at the Berrics 10 match against Donovan Strain. We left off in this battle with Donovan Strain inheriting the opportunity to inflict vengeful harm on Sean Malto. Now that it's Strain's turn to set the trick, he goes again for the frontside double flip and lands it successfully this time. Malto's mortality is exposed when he misses the frontside double flip and gets his first letter. Strain proceeds to reciprocate the pain Malto initially imposed on him with a pop shove it late big spin. Malto submissively accepts a letter. Donovan's destruction continues with another late shove, to which Malto says in his own words, but to no avail, and now Malto's been impaled with a third straight letter. The letter T is bludgeoned into Malto by Strain with a Battle at the Berrics first, the backside Casper flip. Visibly stressed at the thought that a victory is slipping away, Malto can only watch as Strain winds up for the death blow. Perhaps Donovan didn't really desire to win, and instead wanted to show Malto that he could beat him if he tried. But for whatever reason, Strain made a less than 100% effort attempt at landing a laser flip, and in turn sacrificed himself as the first and only victim to lose a battle from a manual trick. Number 4 is Chris Joslin getting letter S on turn 82 in Battle at the Berrics 10 round 2 against Tom Asta. Tom Asta falls into a group of other skaters like Jimmy Carlin, Davis Torgerson, and Moose from Battle at the Berrics who are probably in the world's 99.9th percentile of flat ground specialists, but they don't really have the competitive hunger that matches the Joslins, Luans, P-Rods, and Chris Coles of the world. And therefore, we don't really see them go past round 3 of any of these battles, which is a shame. Tom Asta's style is so mesmerizing because it looks like he can't even be bothered to try anything. But then he bends his knees, flicks his feet, and lazily lands cab flips and nollie backside 360 kickflips. The latter of which gave this particular season's eventual champion Chris Joslin his first letter in their 10th season battle. Even though this battle's turn count was headed to be one for the record books, Asta stepped off a switch big flip on a redo, giving way for Joslin's wicked nollie backside inward heel that would end the match. Number 3. Clinging to a perfect game before getting S on turn 85 is PJ Ladd in Battle at the Berrics 4 round 3 against Chris Cole. The oldest match on this list features another appearance from our flat ground lord and savior PJ Ladd in a third round battle with stakes that parallel this breakdown's number 6 match with PJ versus Moose. But here, PJ's gunning to seize his first championship. Chris Cole was looking to shake off his previous season's round 3 loss to Shane O'Neill and earn a second championship following his victory in Battle at the Berrics 2 against P-Rod. PJ whittled Cole down to letter T on a cab heel flip before causing a turnover on a nollie double flip. Cole hastily fired off his big boy tricks, but nothing penetrated PJ's puncture-proof position until an offensive cab big flip, famous for being the first trick in the last line of PJ's part in Wonderful Horrible Life, didn't convert on defense. PJ would go on to beat Chris Cole, but the sting of missing that cab big flip is surely felt to this day. Number 2. Surviving until turn 88 before getting letter S is Chris Joslin again, this time in Battle at the Berrics 11 round 3 against Felipe Gustavo. Here we are looking at another instance where it takes more than 80 turns in a match to give Joslin his first letter. Felipe impressively also lasted until turn 53 before getting a letter, and both skaters landed a combined total of 107 tricks in this battle that would grant the winner a trip to finals night. These guys skated so long that they both took a water break after Joslin stomped a fakey double flip on defense. And what do you know, there's Seva just in time to spy on his future competitors. Joslin would go on to win the match by rubbing a nollie backside 360 heel flip in Felipe's face twice before Gustavo got letter E. Number 1. Topping the list by not missing one trick on defense until turn 89 is the flat ground final boss PJ Ladd in the Battle at the Berrics 10 round 1 match against Chris Roberts' Legion of Doom. I'm a little torn about including this match since it includes the Legion of Doom, which by default will make the battle longer if the squad can go all in on the last try. But this battle is special for more than one reason. First of all, this is the longest match ever in Battle at the Berrics history, with a total of 145 combined turns to attempt a trick between both competitors. Second, this is the first battle of the last season that we would see PJ compete in at the Berrics. Miss you, PJ! Also, there's a surprise cameo from YouTube skater Dan Corrigan. PJ landed 60 tricks in this match, 41 of which included a flip variation, and 3 of those involved a 360 body rotation. PJ would go on to defeat Moose and ultimately lose to Shane O'Neill on the signature switch double tray in round 3, but this marathon battle against the Legion of Doom is yet one more reminder of why PJ is one of, if not the most in-control skater of his time, not only in the Battle at the Berrics, but in skateboarding as a whole. In Battle at the Berrics 12, the latest turn to get letter S is from one of the few battles keeping this season's hype alive, which is Sean Malto on turn 62, caused by Tori Pudwill's unsportsmanlike nollie frontside kickflip. Pudwill would go on to make a major comeback on Malto after almost losing on a switch big flip, which guarantees him a spot in round 2. Well, that pretty much covers the top 10 turns before S at Battle at the Berrics so far. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to Dumb Data, click the notification bell to stay on top of new episodes, and drop a like if you enjoyed this breakdown. See you on the next Dumb episode.